Hi, I'm Mitch Frazier, President and CEO of AgriNovus Indiana. Welcome to a special discussion specifically for innovators, business leaders, academics, students who want to make a difference, specifically using technology to improve food security. Just days ago, our team in AgriNovus Indiana launched the HungerTech Innovation Challenge, a challenge laser focused on bringing innovation to the more than $100 billion annual supplemental nutrition and assistance program. It's called SNAP, some know it as food stamps. And in partnership with Anthem, Parkview Health, and others, HungerTech is our call to action for innovators like you to develop new technologies and models to enable SNAP recipients, those who are food insecure, to use existing online purchase capabilities and receive those products wherever they are, get them delivered directly where they are. The winning solution, the winning team will receive $25,000 to help launch the product. They'll have opportunity to potentially pilot the program with SNAP recipients here in Indiana later this year, and will be included in a report to the United States Congress at the end of the year as Congress prepares for the reauthorization of SNAP as part of the 2023 Farm Bill. This is a big project, and at its core, HungerTech is tech. And joining us today to talk about the opportunity HungerTech creates for tech companies, tech entrepreneurs, tech innovators is Ting Gootee. She's president and CEO of TechPoint. Ting, a longtime venture capitalist who has served as the founding chief investment officer at Elevate Ventures. There is incredible. She led investments in more than 500 Indiana startups. Ting, thanks so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Mitch. I've been a longtime fan of you and what you're doing, even prior to AgriNovus. This is a terrific opportunity to see you put your entrepreneur mindset and strategic thinking around this opportunity, putting this HungerTech.
Oh, you are so kind, Ting. You are so kind. It is so fun to be with you. So Ting just joined us. She's now TechPoint CEO, longtime Elevate Ventures. Ting and I have worked together for, well over a decade. And Ting, I want to start at the beginning because I think this is really important for innovators and the TechPoint network and the tech ecosystem to really understand how HungerTech was formed. We commissioned a study on food supply chain back in 2021, right at the height of the pandemic, to try to understand what was impacted, who was impacted by the pandemic when we look at food supply. And we saw a lot of things happen. We saw this shift to online buying, to the realities of what's happening in food deserts in the state. And there's one quote in that research report that really sticks out to me and really was sort of the guiding light or the North Star for what is now HungerTech. And the researchers identified that in the future, food security will be driven more by connectivity than proximity, meaning food security will be solved when we look at digital connectivity and we look less at proximity, meaning proximity to a retail grocer. And today, as you know, Ting, as we've talked about, food security today, food deserts are largely said, okay, how far are you away from a retail grocer? And I think, so much happened in the pandemic where we found different ways to get food, whether that was driving to the grocery store and Kroger putting groceries in our trunk, or whether it was shipped or whatever it may be, lots of different ways. We know that there is a way that technology plays a role in food supply. It's really how HungerTech began. How do we use connectivity to improve one segment of the food puzzle, SNAP? So we are laser focused on SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition and Assistance Program, $113 billion program in 2021. Every great innovation starts with a problem and looks for a solution. I think we've defined the problem, right? We have this digital online ecosystem that is SNAP. You can buy groceries online. You just can't get them delivered. In your experience, Ting, you've invested in over 500 tech companies. How have critical gaps and problems like this really become a runway to really smart innovators solving big problems?
Yeah, excellent question. As you articulate, Mitch, identifying the right problems to solve, it's a step number one. And I really like how you not only kind of putting a laser focus around a particular problem in the food tech space, but also really market it in a way to be very problem focused, right? When we're thinking about in a venture world, when we talk about food sustainability, and HungerTech is something new, even from a branding and a spotlight perspective, that really get people's attention. And not only that, within HungerTech, you have specifically mentioned the SNAP SNAP opportunity that really nobody was paying a whole lot of attention around. So highlighting the big but right problem within the system needs to be solved is critical. And this is also an opportunity for folks, innovators and entrepreneurs to really try new and different ways to solve the problem that hasn't been surfaced before. In the venture world, you all know the legendary Peter Thiel. I love his book, From Zero to One. And I just actually, in preparation for this, and reopened the preface, and it was still resonating in a major way. He says, every moment in business happens only once. The next Bill Gates will not build an operating system. The next Larry Page or Sergey Brin won't make a search engine. And the next Mark Zuckerberg won't create a social network. If you're copying these guys, you aren't learning from them. Today's best practices, which is the SNAP situation, lead to dead ends, and the best paths the new and untried. So I'm super excited. Mitch, with your kind of tech background, strategic thinking, even marketing flair, putting all these pieces together, providing and creating this challenge for entrepreneurs to really solve some big problems.
So what great context, Ting. I mean, we think about all of these things that happen. And when you and I have worked together in the past, with software as a service, marketing technology, sales technology, such a big piece of the Indiana tech ecosystem. And there's an opportunity here to apply those lessons learned. If you're listening and you're a Salesforce person, or you're Genesis, or maybe you're at Home Advisor, this is your opportunity to make a big difference. You can see the scroll at the bottom of the screen, agrinovusindiana.com/HungerTech. agrinovusindiana.com/HungerTech. That's the place that you can go. You can sign up to become a team. You can learn more. Now, Ting, I want to give a little bit more color on this challenge that is food insecurity. Some really interesting data points out of the research I mentioned earlier. So in Indiana alone, 22% of residents live in food deserts. Again, proximity to a retail grocer, and really lack access to proper nutrition. 13% of Hoosiers, more than 1 in 10, 13% of Hoosiers are food insecure. When you look at Indiana as a pilot point to start building this new HungerTech innovation, right? Matching supply and demand. How do we get SNAP transactions? How do we get those, not just online, but how do we get those in a place that those groceries can be delivered right to the point? How is Indiana positioned to be a real place where this can be solved?
Excellent question. Obviously, the immediate impact on the number of Hoosiers that's going to benefit, hopefully, from their daily life perspective. I mean, a lot of today's entrepreneurs, they're founders, they're aspired to solve real world problem has a big impact. I think what you're doing here is a direct translation of that. But more importantly, I think Mitch, that's part of the reason you're attractive to lead this particular sector opportunity for us, is because Indiana, as our bioscience, really the whole asset base here, there's a huge potential to drive innovation and create new opportunities. Best paths are new untried, right? So for Indiana to really leveraging the asset that we have and creating this new innovative opportunities to build leading companies of the future through this HungerTech and other opportunities that you're doing, it's really putting Indiana on the map in terms of innovative asset-based ecosystem building activities. I'm super thrilled, and this is only offers a perfect example where AgriNovus, or entities like AgriNovus, hopefully TechPoint at some point in the future as well, connecting the dots, right? Strategic issues and ecosystem building issues that we're addressing, but creating specific opportunities and pathways for different founders and talent to be part of the solution.
Well, Ting, you're part of this. TechPoint is a big piece of HungerTech Innovation Challenge. The beauty of HungerTech in my mind is you don't have to be a food expert. Mm-hmm. You don't have to know specifics around SNAP. We've built this 4-week accelerator program. So to apply to be in HungerTech, call for teams ends May 31st. We jump right into a 4-week accelerator program. And we have some giant names as part of this accelerator to be advisors and counselors. To your point of, you don't have to be deep into the food system to really make a giant impact here. And Ting, you've had such an incredible background. I mean, when you look at, one of the real early founders of Elevate Ventures, one of the most active venture capitalists here in the Midwest, have been for years. Talk to us just a little bit more about your experience and how you see opportunities like this for entrepreneurs, right? That these teams that sign up,
yep.
There's a really interesting an opportunity here for them. But there's also a really interesting opportunity here for your colleagues or your former colleagues in the venture space.
Yeah. Now, the venture investor, from a venture perspective, to your point, Mitch, oftentimes opportunities like this, the venture investors don't necessarily quite understand the size and scope of the problem. So that's one thing, you're kind of surfacing the market opportunity that's very unfamiliar to a lot of typical tech investors. I'm very grateful to that. Even in particular, tech investor in our state, they should be paying a lot of attention to what's happening in the tech space and figure out ways to be part of that company building activities. And secondly, from venture, I remember a Harvard Business Review article not long ago. I mean, everybody's wondering about this whole luck versus skill debate, right? You're succeeded because you're lucky as a founder, or you're succeeded because of your skill. The Harvard Business Review recent article published really the biggest factors. I mean, team's important, experience, pace important, product, the right problem to solve is important. But really the biggest determinant is market timing. Because if you're too early, you may not last as long with the market when finally hits. But what I really like this opportunity, the package you put together, Mitch, is the fact that there's a potential tailwind to drive the market adoption of the solution here, which is the policy piece, which is the regulation piece that you're going after. So not just initial pilot, but the market creating movement that can really drive a lot of adoption, create big venture opportunities.
That's crazy. I mean, we always look in the venture world around TAM, right? Total addressable market. And when you look at a market today, the SNAP program, now there are other federal nutrition programs. When we look at SNAP specifically, in 2021, it was $113 billion. Now we don't expect, I don't think anybody expects that to all be online, but we could do some really quick math. And even if you look at 10% adoption online, this becomes a really attractive, really interesting space. And we've often talked about this intersection of good and well.
Yep.
Right? There are so many incredible organizations throughout Indiana who are doing incredible work around food security, and they are to be commended, from Gleaners to all over the state. I mean, just Midwest Food Bank, Feeding America. I mean, just really, really good folks. This is very focused, very specific on not just creating a solution, but creating a company to create a solution. And I think, there's so much research on this, and there's a great book called Forces for Good. If you get a chance to take a look at it, where it talks about this intersection of good and well, and people will come together to do good, and that's good. But what makes good durable is well, where there are economics involved and people can actually make money, and the transactions support the innovation. And that's what I love so much about what we're focused on here at HungerTech. And like I mentioned, we have an all-star team of advisors from all across the country. I mean, truly experts who have served in the White House to really, really interesting food folks. We'll run this 4-week accelerator starting in June. Again, team deadlines the deadline for teams to register is May 31st. Ting, for those who are watching or listening, you're sort of on the fence. They're starting to think about, okay, do I know enough? Can I use my tech skills to create this solution for HungerTech? What do you say to them? What encouragement can you pour into them to say, go ahead, go to agrinovusindiana.com/HungerTech. What can you tell them to sort of get them from here to a yes?
Yeah, great question. I think a lot of folks are a little bit hesitant to jump in because of perceived risk. This is as a de-risk as an opportunity you could have seen in terms of problem identified. This is a safe pathway you can embark on in terms of be the part of a solution finding team, and with a potential pilot customer at the end and a potential bigger market opportunity, really kind of with the headwinds coming your way. So I can't really think of a better way in terms of jumping in and really being part of this entrepreneur journey. And learn a whole lot along the way, right?
Learn a lot, have a lot of fun, have the potential. I mean, here's the crazy piece, right? When you think about this, and this is why I get so excited, when you think about this, right? We as part of HungerTech, as part of the HungerTech Innovation Challenge, our little team here in Central Indiana has the ability to affect a federal program that connects supply and demand of food. We have the opportunity to bring innovation to that system.
Mhm.
All of this will get re-looked at. When we get into the 2023 Farm Bill, that's where SNAP is funded. Our objective is to find a solution, pilot that solution, pull together details from quantitative research, take that as a package, and to help our policymakers understand what is possible. And I believe that Indiana is so well positioned to do that. If you're a team and you're thinking about it, you heard from Ting. She says this is de-risked. So jump in. Let your fingers do the walking. agrinovusindiana.com/HungerTech. That's agrinovusindiana.com/HungerTech. Last question for your team. Maybe advice to HungerTech participants in 15 seconds or less.
Don't hesitate, ask for help. As Mitch mentioned, you don't necessarily have to be a food expert, but we have experts on the team, including Mitch and Jeff, who's running the program, who come from very deep startup support background. And I'll raise my hand, myself included. Anytime you all want to advise and we can be a sounding board, we're there for you.
That is incredible. She is Ting Gootee. She's president and CEO of TechPoint. Ting, it is absolutely a delight. Thanks so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you, Mitch, and we're rooting for all of you.
Thank you. And don't forget, if you are a team, you're an innovator, you're an entrepreneur, you're a student, you're just someone who's listening, go to agrinovusindiana.com/HungerTech. That's agrinovusindiana.com/HungerTech. Do it by May 31st. Sign up to be a team. Sign up to be an individual. You don't have to have a bunch of people. It can just be you. But May 31st is the deadline to sign up your team. We'll kick off the 4-week HungerTech Innovation Challenge Accelerator coming up in June. And don't forget, there is a $25,000 prize to the team or person who brings the best solution. Before I wrap up, I want to say a huge thank you to our partners at Anthem and our partners at Parkview Health, both incredible supporters of the AgriNovus HungerTech Innovation Challenge. We couldn't do this without them. Don't forget, agrinovusindiana.com/HungerTech. That's agrinovusindiana.com/HungerTech. We look forward to seeing your application and your innovation soon.